Hello, this is Bill Steffen. Boy, what a great Memorial Day we had. The weather was fantastic. I managed to get out to the Walker Parade, and you probably can't see this, but I have a logo here for the Walker Police and Fire Department. This is a t-shirt that I got from them. Boy, that had to have been like 15 years ago or so, and I always get it out on Memorial Day and wear that. Memorial Day was very special to me. On that day, we had our biggest parade in Wilmette, Illinois, where I grew up. My father marched as the Boy Scout master. He marched then with the drum, playing the bass drum, and it was really a big to-do there. All right, let's go on to the next slide here. This is really interesting. You know, the temperature varies quite a bit between lakeshore and inland, especially this time of year here in May and June when the lake water is still so cold. But you can get the high temperatures occurring at 6 in the morning or 8 in the evening. It's really kind of interesting. And look what happened here today, or Monday. Temperature at 11 a.m., and this is at the Muskegon Pier, was 60 degrees. And there was an east wind that was blowing off the land, so the temperature was a bit warmer. Then the wind shifted and started to come out of the northwest. And look what happened. The temperature dropped 9 degrees in 1 hour. So at the time of day when the temperature is usually going up, this time it was going down. And you can see the pylon out there at the end of the pier. But that's interesting. That was a picture taken Monday, and there was a lot of traffic going in and out the Muskegon Channel. All right, some more interesting information to pass along to you. There's another picture of the Muskegon Channel. That one was from Sunday. Look at all the boats out there. It was really great. Average high temperature for Grand Rapids is still at 73. Here's some temperatures as of 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday in Grand Rapids. We were pretty close to 70, 69. I was running around in a t-shirt. But look at the Muskegon Pier. Temperature there was only 50. And at Howland State Park, there's a thermometer right by the water, and the temperature there was 49. So if you're in Grand Rapids, you're thinking, well, nice day. I think I'll head to Lake Michigan and enjoy a kind of a walk on the sand, maybe lie in the sun for a little bit. Well, the temperature there was in the upper 40s with a pretty good wind coming in off Lake Michigan. It was not a day that you'd be wearing a bathing suit there, that's for sure. All right, let's move on right here, and we'll take a look at the forecast for Tuesday. Here's a picture again from the Holland, city of Holland, and also Bigby Coffee. We expect the winds now to be east. Now, if they stay out of the east, I think the high temperature at the beach can make it up into the low 70s, which would be a whole lot warmer than it was Monday. The water won't get any warmer, I can guarantee you that, but waves should only be around 6 inches to a foot. And I can't rule out the fact that the lake breeze will overcome the land breeze and come in. So it may be one of those days where the temperature heats up to around 70 at noon, and then the lake breeze comes in and the temperature slides back to 60 or something like that. So pay attention. I like watching the thermometers here along the lakeshore and see what's going on. And by the way, in the picture that you see right there, notice that there are cumulus clouds over the land areas, but not over the water. Over the water, the air is cool and stable. It's not lifting up to form those cumulus clouds like it's doing over the land. So really kind of interesting to see that in that picture right there. All right, now we're going to take a little time out and salute our sponsors, Complete Care Concierge, and here's Michelle.
And if you need a fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service anywhere in West Michigan, Complete Care Concierge has you covered. They clean homes, apartments, condos, rentals, office buildings, your workspace, whatever you need. They can clean once, they can clean on a repeated basis. They've got all the best cleaning products to keep your space and your things in the best shape possible. 616-264-1397. And we will put the number in the show notes. And here's a word from our other sponsor.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
And thanks to Ace for being one of our sponsors. Here's 66-hour rainfall, and my goodness, it's going to rain again a couple of times in Birmingham, Alabama, that's for sure. Look at that area. That area that's yellow is over an inch of rain. In fact, that's, I believe, an inch and a half of rain or thereabouts, but from Texas almost down to the Rio Grande and all the way scattered to the East Coast. There'll be some heavy rainfalls down there and thunderstorm after thunderstorm. You can see the moisture extends back up into the northern Rockies up there toward Yellowstone, where most of the Rockies now it's too warm for snow, so they're getting rain in some of the higher elevations there as well. Now you can see we are going to see some rainfall here in Michigan. Let's zoom in and take a look at Michigan here just a little bit. Nothing really super heavy, not like what they're getting down south. Anywhere from a tenth of an inch to around half an inch is expected. And this is what's going to fall late Tuesday night into the day on Wednesday. It will be a little variable. Like I said, we're not expecting anything heavy. It won't be raining every minute of the day or anything like that. But and I think we can probably, cross your fingers, cross your toes, get the softball and golf leagues in Tuesday evening before some rain moves in later Tuesday night. And for the day on Wednesday. And like I said, Wednesday won't be raining all the time, but there will be some showers around, maybe an isolated thunder shower, and that would be Wednesday. Okay, let's take a look at severe weather. Where is there going to be a slight risk? That's a level 2 risk, wind damage to the main threat. And you can see down in Texas, all along the Rio Grande Valley there, which is kind of unusual. And you can kind of complete that circle. And that part of Mexico, which is across the border there, should be seeing some heavy thunderstorms as well. And then there's another slight risk area that runs from Mississippi through Alabama into western Georgia. So those are the places to watch out for. But I think, not only just the wind, but the main thing will be the heavy rain and the local flooding that will continue to hit that area. We miss out on that here. By the way, for Wednesday, we can go on to the next map. Wednesday, that is the map, and it kind of leaves Michigan out of it. It's really kind of interesting how Wisconsin's in it, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. Okay, southeast Michigan gets into it over toward Detroit. There could be an isolated thunder shower, but I think, again, we can we'll have our best bet for picking up a weak thunder shower or some scattered showers here late Tuesday night and into Wednesday. A lot of that just in the form of some rain showers here. Okay, let's go on and take a look at our headline graphic here. Dry weather is expected through sunset on today, and rain for Tuesday night and on Wednesday. High temperatures anywhere from the mid 60s to low 70s, and no severe weather. We've been shouting the same message here now for quite a while. It's nice having no severe weather. Temperatures are very comfortable. You don't need a lot of air conditioning or a lot of heat. And again, the best bet for picking up rain will be Tuesday night into Wednesday. On we go, and up next we have a look at some of the long days of late May. Sunrise now for Grand Rapids 6:09, sunset at 9:10. We've had 10 days in a row now that have been cooler than average. In May, that's not much of a problem. In January, that could be more of a problem, I guess, if it's really cold. May so far averaging about 1.7 degrees cooler than average. May should finish cooler than average, though we'll get back up to average or maybe even a little above that as the month ends here. And that's a picture of sunrise in beautiful downtown Holland. Still a lot of people walking around, still a few tulips there, but most of them are done. But Holland's a great place to spend a day shopping or maybe seeing Windmill Island or tulips at the gardens there. But that was a picture taken Sunday. Okay, let's take a look at some of the temperatures across the area. First of all, for today, I think we can reach low 70s. We'll see increase in cloudiness. If there's any sun today, it'll likely be in the morning, and then it will cloud up, so it won't be as bright as it was the past couple of days. And as you can see, we've got partly cloudy skies here, temperature around 50 or so during the early morning, so not too terribly cold. Humidity falls to about 50% during the afternoon, and winds will be east at around 10 miles an hour, but with that caveat that we may see that wind shift to the northwest or west off the lake during the afternoon right by the lake shore. It wouldn't penetrate very far inland. Here's high temperatures. The the models are trying to bring in a little bit of a lake breeze. It's got South Haven at 63 for a high temperature, so that would have the lake breeze coming in from the northwest. Whereas Grand Rapids Inland is at 73. Kalamazoo, which has been running about a degree cooler than Grand Rapids the past few days, 72 degrees there. And the warm air extends to the north over lower Michigan. Temperature is probably about the same through the entire lower peninsula here, except right by the water. We got 70 for an anticipated high temperature up at Pellston. Okay, we'll look ahead then to Wednesday. And Wednesday, we're a little cooler because of the clouds and passing shower, perhaps. We'll see rain. We'll see high temperatures here, upper 50s right at the immediate lakeshore. You can see that green color penetrating inland there just a bit. And off to the north, Marquette gets 58. South wind at Houghton kind of missed. Oh, that was a cat doing something. It was a catastrophe over there. I'll have to check that out a little bit later on. They're here. They're not in front of the camera, but they're here. All right, next. 5-day forecast. Increasing clouds for Tuesday, showers likely on Wednesday. And it's not a sure thing. I would put the chance of rain Wednesday at about 70-80%. That's a pretty good chance. Could be an isolated shower Thursday or Friday. I'm hoping we get through next Saturday without any significant precipitation. And the following week, we should see temperatures warm up at least to 80. So if you're waiting on some warm weather, not this week, but the following week, we should get some of that here in Michigan. The latest long-range outlook does take us into the above normal category. What are they doing over there? Good grief. I don't know. But there's a lot of noise coming from the corner over there where there are some breakables. I haven't heard anything break, but some things are falling down, that's for sure. Below average temperatures in the Southwest, they'd appreciate that if it was all summer. And then above average on the East Coast. But temperatures, start to warm up a little bit down in the southern U.S. as the rain kind of tapers off. And by the way, Alaska is a big state. It's bigger than it appears on that map there. They have been on the cold and damp side up there, and that's they often shift with the eastern and central U.S. If Alaska's cold, then it's usually mild in the eastern U.S. and vice versa, and that's true even more so in the winter than it is during the summer. Okay, let's take a look at rainfall for the next for the 8 to 14 day period. Gives us near normal precipitation here, which is a good thing. We like near normal here during the summer. You get enough rain for the crops, but not a deluge where things flood out or anything like that. So, Michelle, a pretty nice day up here in Michigan. We had a lot of sunshine today, and a lot of people managed to get out. I did check a lot of the beach cameras for a while today, and not a lot of people in the water, that's for sure. Beautiful
and it's
picture.
True. Cats like to knock things off counters and then look proud of themselves.
I know, but I'll sit here for like 2 hours and I won't hear a peep out of them. Okay, and all of a sudden we start doing a video and there's another one. Now I just scared the cat.
Okay, before we get started, a bunch of public service announcements. One, thank you for the recent orders from the merch store. That helps us stay in business. We've got mugs, we've got t-shirts, we've got Bill Steffen mustache stuff, we've got It's Cooler by the Lake stuff, a bunch of designs. So we'll put the link to the merch store in the comments. Thank you for those of you that have made a purchase. It helps us do what we're doing. Speaking of helping us do what we're doing, if you're interested in sponsoring our little show here, let us know at bill@billsteffen.com. We would love to highlight your business, your service, give you a shout out, whatever else. So contact us for more information about that. And a shout out to step-grandson Alex, who is doing a lot of the production work for this show behind the scenes. And we really appreciate his time and effort. And one other thing, at billsteffen.com, I wrote an article on Christopher Schur. I had read some of the articles that have been in the big media outlets about whether Dana Nessel can pick up the charges from here. And I didn't think that those articles fully answered the question. So I dug into the law a little bit, but I didn't feel like sending that to everyone because I don't think that's what you sign up for when you subscribe at billsteffen.com. You probably don't want hard-hitting legal commentary. So if you're interested in that, you can go to billsteffen.com and find it, but I'm not going to send it out to you. But that's there if you're interested. Okay, so all those things. Let's get on to the second half of the show. Thank you to Bradley Taylor for sending in this beautiful photo. Don't you wish you were there? Fort Custer Recreation Area in Augusta.
Isn't that pretty clean, crisp air? So great visibility. You got a lower level of cumulus clouds there that would form during the midday and afternoon. And if you look up at the top of the picture, there's some really thin cirrus up there. Sun would shine right through that without losing more than a couple of percent.
So why does the blue look darker higher up, and why is it lighter at the horizon?
Oh, that's a good question. The sunlight is made up of 7 different colors all put together. The primary colors are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and indigo. All those colors mixed together. And so if you were to take a look at sunlight, I mean, if the sun was actually yellow, then everything would look yellow all the time down here. But when you get to the horizon, the sun is shining through a larger layer of air there, and more of the sun's colors get kind of bounced back, and normally light is refracted or bounced off the atmosphere and off the clouds right there. But when you got a low picture on the horizon there, it's interesting. Now you can tell the sun is high in the sky when you're getting that white glow there off to the off on the horizon. But when the sun gets lower to the horizon, when the sun itself is lower to the horizon, the colors with the longest wavelength are the ones that are better able to get through the air. And so you get red and then orange and then yellow. A lot of times the sun looks yellow at sunrise and sunset. If there's a lot of dust and smoke in the air or something like that, it will tend to look more reddish. But interesting. And thanks to Bradley for the picture.
Yeah, so that made me wonder where that is. And there's where it is on the map between Battle Creek and Kalamazoo. 40 miles of trails, 3,000 acres. It looks like it's a place that will keep you busy for a while.
Mm-hmm. Great place. I have not spent much time there, but I would like to do that.
Mm-hmm. All right, our May 27 temperature records, the highest temperature ever, 93 degrees, and I forgot to write the year down. The lowest temperature ever was 30 degrees, average high of 73, so we're pretty close to normal in the Grand Rapids area, and the average low of 51.2.
Yeah, so it can get below freezing. Rarely. I think we've had below freezing temperatures in Grand Rapids into early June, a day or two. And of course, you can get frost in some of the low spots even in the mid-June, even with the short length of night this time of year. If you want to find out what year that 93 was, you go to Threaded Extremes. If you just Google Threaded Extremes, you can find a place where there are records for Grand Rapids and for almost every major city in the United States. If you're taking a vacation, maybe you're going to Birmingham, Alabama, I don't know. You can check Birmingham, Alabama and find out what their record high temperature is for a particular day.
This says it was 2018, and the record low was in 1961.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
And you should come to Birmingham, Alabama. There's a wonderful amount of stuff to see and do here.
Yeah, the tower. You can climb the tower and look out, get a nice view for everything. Was it that Iron Man Tower or something like that is called?
Yeah, we've got history, we've got walking trails, we've got restaurants and nightlife. It's a really cool place. Everyone should come to Birmingham. That's why we moved here.
Excuse me just a second. Kitties, just behave for a little bit. I'm trying to make a taping here. They're going at it again.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear that in the background?
Yeah.
Good grief. I mean, they were quiet like all day. And now we start a video and off they go. All right.
Okay, it is Spelling Bee week. The Script Spelling Bee is on, and we've got West Michigan competitors. We've got Elliot, Josiah, Eliza, and Ashika, and we wish them all the best of luck. There are 243 competitors nationwide. Neat.
And we got them from all over the area here. We've got West Shore, which is over toward the Muskegon area or Ludington area, I can see. Kalamazoo, Kent here.
And these are the ones I found on the list, so I'm sorry if I missed anybody.
Oh, okay. Well, sounds wonderful. We wish them all the best.
Bill, were you ever in the Spelling Bee?
Was I ever in the Spelling Bee? We had a spelling bee that was just local to our school, but I was never in the one that, where you could go and actually, I think you win a prize. Don't you get a scholarship of some kind for winning?
Were you in the one at your school?
No, I wasn't the winner. I think I did better than average, but yeah, I remember doing that. We were in middle school, maybe 6th grade when we did that. So. Yeah.
So it is the 100th year of the Script Spelling Bee.
100th year. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Neat. Year. Y-E-A-R. Okay.
Okay. I'm not going to make you spell. I thought about it, but we did that on a previous one, so we'll save it for another day. May 27 is National Sunscreen Day. Bill, what does SPF stand for?
Sun protection factor. And you want one that's like 30 or better is best. And let me tell you, there's a lot of people that don't sunburn easy. You know, my mother was darker complected and did not sunburn easy, but the sun ages your skin. So just about everybody would benefit by getting SPF 30 and rubbing a little bit of that on. So I did that today
having
when I was
grown
out
up,
west.
it's
Yeah,
kind of like seat belts. It's
Yeah.
funny because our generation grew up with them. We grew up with seat belts. We grew up with sunscreen. So it's funny to actually look back through history and learn that how recent those things really are.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we didn't have that when I was a kid. I was massively sunburned, blisters a time or two because I'm fair skinned.
And it wasn't called sunscreen; it was called suntan lotion, which is
Suntan, right?
quite a concept.
Yeah, right. Or sunblock.
Mm-hmm.
But we used to have the lifeguards at the beach used to put this white goo called zinc oxide on their noses. I mean, really thick. And then they would put it on the top of their ears too, and they look like they landed from the planet Kermit Zarly or something like that.
And kids in the church youth group would have tanning bed competitions before they would go on their trips.
Ugh, never did that.
Yeah, I never participated, but yeah, that happened.
No, yeah, I think I remember doing that too. Yeah, no, that's not a good idea. So
Anyways, sunscreen.
Yeah, sun gives you wrinkles. It ages your skin, so you want to stay out of that if you can.
Okay, this French theologian died on May 27, 1564. His most famous work was the Institute of the Christian Religion. He was buried according to his wishes in an unmarked grave in Geneva, Switzerland, almost like it was predestined.
Predestined, huh? Well, let me think. Does Calvin ring a bell?
Very good. Do you know your points of Calvinism?
Yeah, that was
sent me to school for it.
interesting. He wound up in Switzerland, but he was French.
Total deprivation, unconditional election, limited atonement, irresistible grace, perseverance of the saints. You paid for lots of Christian school for me to learn that.
Are you reading notes or?
No.
Oh, there he is.
No, we did a whole unit on it in 7th grade. I did learn something in all that schooling.
That's an interesting hat he has on. Yeah. And it's in beautiful black and white.
So that got me wondering, which university is older, Cornerstone or Calvin?
I'll go with Calvin.
Calvin, and it's not close.
Oh, wow. 1876, 1941. And of course, Cornerstone started as Grand Rapids Baptist College.
Yeah, they both started small as other iterations of
themselves.
themselves.
University. I think there were more colleges way back when than today. Everybody wants to be a university. Yeah.
And then I tried to figure out which university is the oldest, and one source said Aquinas College, but then the date they gave was even older than this. So I guess it depends on what you count and when it counts. So I couldn't get a clear answer, so we don't have that. But Calvin is one of the oldest. Yeah,
and Grand Valley is not one of the oldest, yet it has the most students in it. How many colleges?
I'm going to get to that. Okay, how many colleges and universities are there in Michigan? And we are including community colleges and tribal colleges.
Oh, okay. Golly, well, there's the Big Ten, there's the GLIAC, there's the MAC, there's the secondary schools like Spring Arbor and Hope, and I don't know. I'll guess we're not counting junior college, right?
No, we're counting community college too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's guess 52.
Higher, 93.
Wow. Okay.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
According to the source that I found. So, and you said Grand Valley's not that old. What year was Grand Valley founded?
Let's see. I'll say 54.
Very good.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well done.
Yeah, I know they were talking about it back in the 50s. But that's become a big school. What year was Western started? Let's see. I'll guess 1891.
Very close.
Oh, that's pretty close.
And they had a large population of women very early into their history, so good for them.
Right. And your sister went to Western.
She did.
Yes, and that's a very good school. A lot of the your sister was an accountant. She said that the major firms recruit from Western just like they do from U of M and MSU. So if you want to stay closer to home, that's quite a nice alternative. The dune climb. Oh,
dune
we
climb.
remember that, don't we?
Bill, have you ever done the dune climb?
Yes, I have, and it took me like till Tuesday to get back up to the top. But yes, I have run down and then climbed back up again, and I took my time. Okay, I stopped and rested, took 2 more steps, rested again. I was not doing any land speed record, but that is, I believe, Glen Lake looking to the east. And if you were to turn around the other way, you would be seeing Lake Michigan. Beautiful view from up there.
And this is my picture of the dune climb, December 22 of 2015.
Wow. And that doesn't, it's really interesting. If you were to show that picture and ask people what day of the year that picture was taken on, how many people would guess December 22?
So we used to live in the area, and the Interlochen Arts Academy students, we would have an open door policy for any international student that needed a place to stay over the holiday.
It's nice of you.
Yeah. So often during Christmas break, we'd have 2 or 3 kids take us up on it. And if the only time you've got is December, then you're going to be taking them to the touristy sites in December, because seeing them then is better than not at all. So we would take them. So this was taking exchange students to the dunes in December.
And you had students, I know, from France, from China, where else?
Korea, Germany. That might be it. I don't remember. There were many. I couldn't name them all. We had more than a dozen.
Really amazing musicians.
Of
course, you'd have to be to get into Interlochen, I would think.
We had Interlochen ones and we had Blue Lake ones too. That's probably the thing I miss the most about being down here, is not being able to host the kids.
Yeah, well, there's so many good things that go on in the world, and you just don't hear about it on the news. We tell you like the bad news that happened today, but that's always been the case. Read the Bible. It's one bad thing after another as you go through the Old Testament, most of it.
And 2 of them went out and got cats after being at our house.
Oh, no kidding.
So now there's a Chinese family and a German family that have cats, and whatever those crazy things are doing, they're stuck with them.
And considering what's been going on here, I hope they're not watching this exciting episode of Bill and Michelle.
Now we've got some stories. So COVID happened when we had the kids and Interlochen shut down, and we ended up with 5 kids on our doorstep at once.
Yeah, and that's interesting because travel just stopped. How long was Alex stuck in Australia?
Yeah, that was the other thing, is that Alex had gone down there and we thought he was staying for a month, and he ended up getting 3 months.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
And then getting him home was a whole thing because he was only 17.
Interesting. Wow.
All right, John Scully and a beautiful eagle flyover.
Wow, neat.
Look at that blue sky.
Yeah, isn't that neat? Hardly even a jet trail or a contrail to be seen there in that picture.
And speaking of eagles.
Oh, look at that. I think. Boy, let me take a really close picture of that. I'm all dressed up. Where would I have been?
I took this photo. You were at the Ford Museum at a Boy Scout thing.
Oh, was that the Scout salute?
I think so.
On September 11th? Could be.
I think so. I just remember Brian Kelly being there.
Yes, and there were a lot of people there, and that went on all day long. But those are old Order the Arrow sashes. I still have one of those. How many U.S. presidents made Eagle Scout? I can only think of Jerry Ford. I don't know if there's another one. Yeah, Jerry Ford, the only one. So if I become president one day, I'll be the second one.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, Jerry Ford was pretty amazing. He was part of the Scout group on Mackinac Island, and he worked with the Boy Scouts, for many years afterwards. Helping out as an adult volunteer. So Jerry was a really nice. Alan Greenspan. Remember, he was the head of the Fed. Well, you don't remember that. It goes back a few years.
No, I remember Alan Greenspan. Yeah,
he was the head of the Fed. He was asked once, who's the most honest politician in Washington, D.C., and he said Jerry Ford. that neat? Jerry Ford,
Mhm.
Grand Rapids own Jerry Ford. He says he always told you the way it was. There was no lying or misrepresenting anything. He was just good old Jerry.
So speaking of Boy Scouts, in Birmingham, there's a Boy Scout facility, and they have a replica of the Statue of Liberty.
No, neat.
You can see it right on the highway as you drive past.
How big is it? I mean, we're not talking Matchbox toys, right? We're talking about something big.
No, it's fairly big, smaller than the big one, but no, not Matchbox size. You can see it from the highway.
Oh, okay. I might have been there. I think Dan may have taken me there.
I think so.
Considering I was the Eagle Scout guy. Yeah, that was interesting. That was at night, I think, so I didn't see everything that was there. But yeah, that was cool. Yeah, and I am a distinguished Eagle Scout. I'm not just an Eagle Scout. I'm a distinguished Eagle Scout.
What does that mean?
That's an award that you get that's voted by your adult peers, and I was very touched to get that honor here. That's somebody it's kind of a lifetime achievement award. You know, it's for more than just Scout, but it's just like living the Scout law and the Scout oath and all that. So,
Well, I got my Awana Timothy Award, and if you went to Awana, you know that's kind of a big deal.
yes, neat. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
I missed that when I was a kid. I was in Boy Scouts and Little League, and that was about the two things that you can join if you were, a boy in upper elementary school.
Awana, I would describe it as Boy Scouts for Baptists.
Mm-hmm. We had a good time. I was in Boy Scouts and got my Eagle. I was there. In fact, I joined on my 11th birthday, and I don't know that I've ever not been in Boy Scouts or doing something with the Scouts the whole rest of my life. And in Little League, I was in Little League for 3 years, and in the same league was Bill Murray, the actor. So
Was he any good?
Yeah, I think so. He was a baseball fan. You know,
He's
Cub
got a
fan.
little brother that's quite a famous actor as well.
He's got 8 brothers and sisters. He was one of 9. They lived on Elmwood Avenue, about 3 blocks away from where I live. We went to the same elementary school together, and he was 1 year ahead of me. So if I just turned 74, he would be turning 75.
And John Stossel went to your high school as well. It's a mustache thing.
Oh yeah, John Stossel, Ann Compton, Rock Hudson, Charlton Heston. I got a letter from Charlton Heston once. I wrote him a letter. He wrote me a nice letter back. Oh yeah, I went to a high school that had over 4,000 students. I mean, there's got to be somebody in there that becomes a little bit famous. There's a whole list. If you go to New Trier alumni, New Trier East is the school that I went to, and you can look at all the famous people that went there. You know, Senator Charles Percy was in my mother's class, and he knew my mother. Of course, everybody knew my mother because she was the lead in The Soprano, and she was lead in the opera and sang soprano in the Glee Club and all that stuff. So she was pretty much known to all.
That's where you get your musical ability from.
Well, that's where I got it, and in turn just passed it right off to you.
Sometime we're going to have you play "Oh Christmas Tree," which is also Michigan, My Michigan.
Yeah, and I missed that. I have a nice guitar here. I should learn how to play it. I have a piano here, and I play "Oh Christmas Tree" on the piano about twice a year.
Did Uncle Dave do Boy Scouts?
Yeah, he only made Star. He didn't make it to Life or Eagle.
He was starting his rock star career.
His big thing was guitar. I mean, he just was into the guitar. I mean, he still plays 1 to 2 times a week, and he's, past 70 now. And he's played with some big time people, and he can play anything on a guitar, and he really enjoys what he does. And I think I did through my weather career too. And I think it's the most important thing about a job is finding something that you're going to enjoy doing for 40 years, for 40 hours a week. That's a long time to spend doing something that you don't like. So, work hard enough so you can get to do something that you really enjoy. That's more important than how much money you make.
Well, I'll let you sign us off.
All right. Thanks. Stay dry down there in Alabama. That's certainly been a kind of a rain magnet down there, and they've got more rain to come. Well, that video is for you pretty much all this week. I want to thank you so much for sticking with us here until the end. Have yourself a fantastic day.